Right guys, well we're back in Maya 2018 to be exact, and today we're gonna do another subscriber request, and the question that I got today is from Ted, and Ted asked me to do a model of a safe. Okay, so here we go. So let's get going here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to start with a let's see, a polygon cylinder for the center of the wheel on the safe, right? So I'm going to hit R to scale that out, just so we got some room to work with. And let's do something like this here. We're not going to go crazy high poly on this, but we'll just see how that turns out, right? So now that we have that, what we're going to do next is we're going to right click and go to face. We're going to click and shift double click, hit Control E to extrude, R to scale out to, I would say, about here. And actually, instead of using R to scale out, what we'll do instead, I'll just go back a step here because I don't want that to come up. Right guys, well we're in Maya 2018 as you can see. Let's get started with our vault. So I'm going to take a polygon cylinder and I'm going to pull that out, flatten that to something like this, and then we're going to go in, we're going to get a face, and I'm going to select that outer face row, just the outer row, there we go. Control E to extrude, let's give that some thickness, not too much, yeah, that would be about enough. And then we're going to hit G to repeat, and we're going to give that a little bit more than that, right? Okay. Then we're going to go in, we're going to go to face, and we're going to take these two and these as well. Hit Control E, let's give that some height, not too much. And then we'll take this and we'll hit G to repeat, and we'll give that some height as well. All right. So now that we have that, we are going to start with the tricky part, and that is the locking mechanism. Okay. So for that, what I'll do is I'll take a, let's see, a polygon pipe. Yeah. I'll hit W, I'll pull that up, I'll hit E to rotate, hold down J and flip it like so. And then let's go in our attribute editor, and let's go in and set this to 12. I think that should be enough. Yeah, I think so. So we're set to 12 here. We're going to go in. And what I'm going to do is right click, go to face, drag click the bottom, delete that. And then what we're going to do is we're going to go in and let's size this guy up first. We're going to go in here, we're going to hit R and kind of pull that out. I would say to about there. And then we're going to go in here, take this face and shift like that face. Control E to extrude, and let's give that some thickness, and then we'll just adjust that. Okay, so we're going to go in here, and what I'll do is I'll take the whole object, move that down like so, and then I'm going to take this vertex right here, and what I'll do is I'll hold down X just to snap that, and we'll take these two, push that down until they're level, and then pull them out, and maybe we'll even keep it a little bit like this. All right, so that's good. And now we need to get this into the proper size. So what I'm going to do is go into the top view, 4 wireframe mode. Let's hit W to move that over here, and that would be about here. And then we want one, Control D to duplicate, down here as well. Okay, now let's adjust the height here. There you go. So we're going to have pins sticking in here, and they are going to support the whole locking mechanism idea. And that said, let's get in here and start to work on the next step. And for that, what we'll do is we'll take another polygon cube, and we'll hit R to scale it up a bit. Pull it out, I would say to, just thinking about this, to about here. And we're going to hit W, we're going to push that And then what we're going to do is we're going to raise that up. Let's hit R, let's push that down, pull it out a little bit. Not too bad. Hit W to push that down again. And let's have a look here. Should be just clear from that door. So let's go to about here. Okay, so that's good so far. Then what we're going to do next is we're going to go in to, let's see, insert edge loop, option box. Let's set that to multiple and 2. So we can go in here, put in 2. We're going to hit R to pull them out basically to about here. And I think that's a good starting point. Hit Q on the keyboard. And then we're going to take this guy and move it back a little. And what we're going to do is we're going to go in here to these 2 faces. And we're going to Control E to extrude. W to pull out, and we're going to pull them forward, but we're also going to push them down a little like that. And what we're also going to do is, well, we'll do that in a second. So that part's okay. Then we're going to hit G to repeat, and we're going to hit W to move forward. And now we're going to start to do some tweaking. Okay. So what we're going to do first is we're going to go in to edge, and we're going to take these 2 top edges right here, and we're going to push them way down. Then we're going to take the entire object, actually not the entire object, we'll go to the top here. What we'll do is we'll take these vertices and we'll hit R and we'll bring them in. So we'll get something like this. Need to do a tiny adjustment on this one. Yeah, looks right. So what have we got so far? So here we got pins that are, or pins actually, that are pushing out into these locking mechanisms right there. So that's what we have so far. And then we need to extrude this a little bit. So we're going to go to these guys, Control E to extrude, W to pull out. And as we do so, we'll go into vertex and we'll take these and these. And then we'll hit R and kind of stretch it out like so. And that seems to be all right. And then what we're going to do is we're going to go in and we are going to drag click all of these faces here and raise that up so it's not touching our door, and that's kind of important, right? And then from there what we're going to do is we're going to go in here to edge, take this one and this one, kind of bring that down a little bit, and then from that point right there what we're going to do is we're going to add a cylinder to it. It's going to be fairly large, so we're going to pull this out, hit E to rotate, hold down J, and flip that until it's horizontal. Let's go in here and set this to 6, maybe even 5. 5 will work much better for us. I'm going to jump into this view right here, go to object mode, hit W, pull that up here, R to scale that up a little bit. Don't make it exactly the same size because I think this looks a little bit better. So we'll do this. Considering these are basically the main hinges, we're going to make them a bit bigger. And then what we'll do is we'll just push that down a bit like so. So I think that looks right. We'll hit Control D to duplicate, W to move down. And we'll have one here as well. And then we just need to take them both and push that up like this. All right. Now let's put in a few details here. I'm not sure if I can do it in this stage. Not just yet, I guess. So what we're going to do from here is we're going to take a polygon cylinder, hit W to pull that out, E to rotate, hold down J, make sure it's flat, There we go. And we're gonna hit R and we're gonna push that in a little. And then we're gonna go in here, we're gonna hit W, we're gonna bring that in, bring that down, F to frame that. Let's get that to about the middle here. And let's Control D to duplicate, W to move down. Might need to move them just slightly, but not so much. Let's Control D to duplicate, push them up, F to frame, sticking into our model just a little bit, but that's all right. And then we're going to take these, and then from this view, let's bring them up to about there. All right, so we got that part. Now let's look into these guys here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this, this, and this, and go to Mesh and Combine, and then we're going to go into Insert Edge Loop. Make sure it's set to single, because these edges are a bit too harsh. So what I'll do is, what I'll do is I'll go and add a few, okay? So I'm just thinking where I need to put these. Now the thing with modeling without a reference is you never know where you're gonna end up. So sometimes you just have to take a moment and check some things. Now keep in mind that although I don't have a reference in front of me, of course this is based on things that I've seen. It's not that I'm just completely making this up, but what I do is I just kind of Google for images of vaults, and usually I end up with something that is a kind of a mix of everything that I saw, and sometimes it's pretty close to what it was. So let's see what we got so far. Let's hit 3 to preview smooth. And I kind of want those rounded edges there, so that's kind of cool. However, I need to go back one step because I have a little issue going on over there, looks like. Not quite sure what's causing that, but that's okay, because, and I'll just hit one to go back. What I'm going to do right now is I'm going to go to Insert Edge Loop. I'm going to go in to multiple and set that to 1. And I'll just basically cut this guy in half and duplicate that over. So I'm liking this end here, that's fine. Q on my keyboard, right click on the face, drag click all of that. Delete that. We're going to go to this guy. If we hit W, you can see the pivot point's right there, so that's fine. And if I'm not mistaken, we need to go to Edit, Duplicate Special Option Box, Scale -1 on Z or Z, Duplicate Special. There you go. Now we're going to go in here, and looks like that pivot point was slightly off, so let's adjust that. Select these two, go to Mesh and Combine. I'm going to right click, go to Vertex, drag select, go to Edit Mesh and Merge, and there you go. So now it's one object, so if we now need to move it, we can hit W and kind of adjust that based on where we're at, but we seem to be very, very close. And now I can go in here and move that a little bit if I want to. and I think we're good. All right, I think that looks better, and we can add to that if we want later on. Just want to move these guys a little bit. All right, so now we have that, we can actually smooth this guy as well if you want. Yeah, it's fine. And we'll adjust these guys while we're at it. Okay, so if I now hit 3, it's not looking good, so let's go in here and we'll set that to 2. We'll hit R to, oops, no, that's not what I want. That's kind of odd. So I'm just going to go in here, insert edge loop, option box, single setting, and we'll put one in here, one in here, one in there, one in there, and maybe even here and here. Q on the keyboard, let's hit 3 to preview smooth, looks perfect. So go to mesh and smooth to actually smooth, and then we'll just replace it. Control D to duplicate, W to move over, and put it into place. All right, so not bad. Let's see if everything's still okay. Yeah, it's fine. So now let's add some more detail here. So we've got the main parts going on. Let's add some bolts. So I'll take a polygon cylinder, open up the attribute editor, and go in and set this to, I would say 5, looks about right. Jump to our top view, W to move that over here, F to frame, R to scale down, hit W, put that in about here, move that up, scale it down. Let's hit the Control D to duplicate, W to move, and then Shift D to do one more. Now that we have these 3, let's position them, and then we'll take one of them and rotate a little bit so they don't all look identical. And then we'll take these 3, Control D to duplicate, W to move over. Let's adjust the height. So hit 4 for wireframe mode, drag select these, and deselect all the other stuff, and raise that up. Hit 5 for shaded mode. As you can see, they're a bit high, so let's bring that in. All right, and then what we're going to do is we're going to drag select them again, Control D to duplicate, W to move, move there. Let's bring it into about here, and then just to mix things up, just change that position a bit here and there. It's a dead giveaway when these are all facing the same way. So you don't want to do that. All right. Okay. So now that we have that, and that looks all right, what we're going to do next is we're going to take a polygon cylinder, and we're going to put that into the center there. That looks about right. And it should be perfectly in the center. It is, yeah. Height wise, let's hit W, just bring that up here, and then right click and go to vertex, drag select, push it down a little bit. And what I want on top there, and what I'll actually do is just go in and insert an edge loop, which is set to 1, yeah. Q on the keyboard, I'm going to go to face, select this, Control E to extrude. Let's give that some thickness. Just looking at how far we need to go. This looks about right. But that said, I want it to be a bit thicker on top, so I'm going to take, actually not that edge, I'm gonna go in here, for wireframe mode, right click, go to vertex, take these, and kind of bring that up. It is a volt after all, so that looks alright. Let's look at the overall proportions and whatnot. And then what we're going to do is I'm going to take a couple of cylinder rods. And let me see here, just hit 4 for wireframe mode, hit E to rotate, hold down J, lay it flat, W to push it up, 5, hit R to pull that out, and then scale it way back in. Just push that down here. So what I basically want is to turn that into a turning wheel. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to hit W and we're going to move that out here. And I'm going to go in here, go to vertex, drag select, and look at the overall dimensions for the wheel, and that would be, I would say, about right. Let's just check on the height here. So that seems to be perfect. And we're going to move the pivot point to the center. So we're going to hit the insert key, and people seem to think that I'm saying the insertion key or the injure key or whatever, but it's the insert key. Yeah. So we're going to hit W to move it. I'm going to hold down V to snap it. What am I doing here? Hang on. Something's wrong, guys. Give me 1 sec. I think my insert was gone while I was yapping about it. So, okay, so we're going to hit the insert key again. We're going to hit object mode, just like this guy. Control D to duplicate. E to rotate, we'll hold down J, and we're going to do, let's see, we'll do one here, and then we'll hit Shift D and work our way around like this. Okay, and then what we're going to do is we're going to go in and we're going to create a wheel or a handle around that. So we're going to take a polygon torus, W to move up, R to scale out. Let's tweak that thickness, section radius 0.1 maybe, 0.05 even. Yeah, that's pretty close. It's going to be a bit smaller anyway, so that's going to be alright. Let me just have a look here. So let's do 0.06. That's a bit better. All right. So now that we have that, we're going to need to scale this in a bit. That's going to take away from our height as well. So we need to be careful with that. As you can see, so 0.07. That's right. Now we're going to go in here and we're going to go to mesh and smooth, just to smooth that guy out a little bit. So we got a nice round wheel. Yeah, looks right. And then we need to extend 2 of those arms. So I'm going to jump to my top view, and that's going to be this one right here. So I'm going to right click at a vertex and hit W, and I want that to be moving in the object orientation. So I'm going to double click on this, open that up. Let's go to object, and then I'm going to move that, and it's going to go just past this guy right here, a little bit more. All right, and then we're going to do the same for this one. So we're going to go to vertex, and we're going to move that out, and let's try and keep this where it should be, but that's fine because as soon as we got our attachment points, we can adjust those. So for now they look all right, and then what we need to do is we need to get a couple of cubes, pull that up, R to kind of stretch it out a little bit, and let's go in here and take those edges and go to edit mesh and bevel. Let's add some segments, just so it looks a little bit better. Okay, so let's hit R and let's pull that up. We're going to pull the whole thing down, and then we're going to go in here. I'm going to hit E to rotate, hold down J, there you go. And then let's see here, I'm going to hit the insert key again, and I'm going to snap that to the center. Hit the insert key again, let's hit E to rotate, hold down J until that's perfectly in place. Then we're going to hit W, and again it's in object orientation, so that's perfect. So let's move that to about there. All right, and then we're going to hit Control D to duplicate, and we're going to hit W, and we're going to move that over there, but we're going to make that one a bit thicker. So hit R to scale to about there. Hit W, we're going to go to modify and center pivot and put that about here, and then we'll take this rod, go vertex, and pull that out to about there. Okay, so now that we have that, we're going to take this guy and this guy, we're going to go to mesh and combine, and then we're going to move that pivot point. So hit that insert key again, hold down X, snap it to the center, hit the insert key again, Control D to duplicate, E to rotate, hold down J, and there you go. And then we need to extend this a little bit. So we're going to take those, hit W, and move that out to about there. Okay. So we're going to go in here. That's what we have so far. I think we've got all the components we need. Now we need to create the main vault, of course. So I'm going to drag select everything. I'm going to go to mesh and combine. Let's make sure that didn't mess anything up. We're going to go to edit, delete by type and history. Hit E to rotate, hold down J. Flip that upward. Yeah. And now let's see if there's any adjustments we need to make, and it's most likely the case. So we're just going to take a cube, we're going to pull that out, hit W to move it. Let's have a look from the top here. Okay, now let's see what we got. That's not too bad, actually. It's actually pretty good. So now that we have that, let's add a little bit of detail here to our main box, if you will. We're going to Control E to extrude. Let's tweak that offset. Come on, offset, yeah. To about there. G to repeat, W to push in. G to repeat, R to scale in. G to repeat, W to push out. And that's where you need to be careful. I'm just going to hit 4 here so I can see it. I thought it would help, but not really. So that is basically it, guys. So let's have a look in wireframe mode here. I'm just going to go to display and turn off my grid. So that's what we have. Now, just to make it look a bit more realistic, I'm going to go to insert edge loop. And we're going to put something up here. Q on the keyboard, go to face. Control E to extrude, negative thickness. All right. And there you have it. There's our vault with our vault door. Now you can decide whether you want it to be bigger or smaller. I think I'm just going to bring it down a little because it will add to realism. Now when you do that, you need to adjust the position, of course. So let's go to the top here and let's make sure that we're good. Just going to go to about there. All right. So just for fun, I'm gonna slap a texture on this guy in KeyShot and do a quick render, but as far as this video is concerned, this is it. So hopefully you guys enjoyed it. If you did, don't forget to hit that like button. Make sure you subscribe so you don't miss out on future videos. And that said, thank you very much for watching, and see you guys next time.